welcome to a very unique Joy Show. For the past few weeks, we've all been living in a new normal, a world we can barely recognize. I have a Bedford High School senior in my home, and like many of you, I am heartbroken over the missed experiences, connections, and celebrations. Prom, graduation, clap out at their grade schools, all of these are in question. But amidst all of this uncertainty and fear, we also have something to be thankful for, the moments. We have had no choice but to slow down and take stock of what is important. Our families, our health, our safety, and our security. There are families that live in this place and are reminded every day that these fundamental things are most important. They don't have the luxury of checking out or not being engaged, but they are also reminded every day how important it is to have a little joy in our lives. So today, I am going to bring into your homes just that, pure joy. This is Unified Basketball at Bedford High School. Now, due to COVID-19 and for the safety of our guests and our crew, we will be coming to you from each of our homes via Zoom. So let's get started. I'd like to welcome my guests, Corey Parker, Dean of Wellness and Athletics Director at Bedford High School, Kathy Campbell-Kelly, Wellness Teacher and the Unified Coach at Bedford High, Bedford resident and mom of three, Lisa Riso, and Allie England, a senior at Bedford High School that has been working with the Unified program since her freshman year. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Joy.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Kathy, I'm going to start with you. Can you please give us an overview of the Unified Basketball program, what it is, how it works, who participates, and what you have experienced since coaching this activity at Bedford High?
Well, it's a very unique program, as you have mentioned. It's a NHIAA varsity sport that gives the opportunity for students with disabilities to be able to participate in a varsity sport. And we had 8 students with special needs and 26 partners. So the students with special needs are called the athletes. The partners, which are our typical kids, are called partners. And we had 2 managers. So we had actually 36 kids on our team this year, which was amazing. And it's a beautiful thing. What happens is there's 5 students on the court at a time. 3 of them are athletes, 2 of them are partners. Only the athletes are allowed to shoot hoops, to make baskets and score. And the partners are there to support them, either inbounding or rebounding or setting them up in position. And if you've seen a game, you know how special it really is. And it's great. I don't know what else to say.
And Corey, you sit on the board of directors for the State Unified program. How did you get involved in this special program, and what has been your experience with Unified?
Yeah, I would say in my 15 years being athletic director, it's hands down the most satisfying program I've been a part of. Fortunately, in 2011, when the NHIAA adopted and teamed up with Special Olympics New Hampshire to create unified sports at the high school level, Oyster River, where I was the athletic director at the time, was one of the first and only 5 schools that fall that started with unified soccer. And so from that point forth, I've been on the Unified Sports Committee for the state, in addition to 3 or 4 principals, as well as a couple coaches and a couple other ADs across the state. And so I've selfishly been there from the get-go to see it grow from unified soccer to unified basketball, in addition to unified track and field. That's a spring offering. And so it's been exciting to watch and be a part of state championships and hand out medals and, see student athletes that normally have not had those experiences through high school, be a member of their school, represent their town, their community, their peers, playing for their high school team, and have that euphoric moment of winning a state championship. And also on the other side of that, not necessarily win that game, but feel the emotion and the consoling of teammates to, get through those moments of loss too, which is such a vital, I think, healthy lifestyle growth for those student athletes part of it. And so it's been an unbelievable experience to be part of. Kathy alluded to it. We've got unbelievable students here at our building that want to be a part of this program. We don't turn anyone away as long as they're willing to fully commit. And so the commitment of being a part of the unified basketball team is no different than any other sport at our school. You got to really commit to it. And it's not a recreational mindset. It's a full commitment. You need to be at all the practices. You need to be at all the games. It's been special to watch for the last 3 years, hear kids at Bedford really take full to that and own that level of involvement. And you see it carry forth into the hallways. You see the interaction with our special needs students, and those relationships that kids build through playing basketball really do carry forth to the hallways here at school, which is the whole purpose of why we do what we do.
Outstanding. Have you seen, Kathy, some growth from when you first started with the program to today?
Absolutely. When I first was approached to coach unified basketball, I didn't know what it was, and none of the students knew what it was, and so I had to beg my my advisory kids, you're going to be on the team because I need kids. And we had just enough to field maybe two rotations of kids. And then from there, it just by word of mouth and just by people coming to see the games, they realized how awesome it is. And the whole purpose of that connection, like Corey said, in the hallways, giving them a high five, like it's a beautiful thing. It really is. And to witness it and to see the growth that we've developed, and the enthusiasm of not only our athletes, but our partners. And I don't know who gets more out of it, to tell you the truth. It's just, it's a win-win situation. Yeah.
Amazing. How many students and athletes did you have this year?
I had 8 athletes, and I had 28 students. 2 of them were managers, and 26 of them were actually players. So
partners, sorry, not students.
Partners.
I said it wrong. Yeah,
partners. That's fine.
Amazing. And Lisa, as a parent with 2 special needs children whom have both participated in Unified, what has been your experience with the program?
It's been fantastic for my kids. This is my daughter Madison was on the team this year. This was her first year, and she really loved being a part of the team. I figured I'd give it a shot. She needs a lot of support, so I wasn't sure how it was going to go. And when I showed up at that first game, I had tears in my eyes. I can even just cry thinking about it now, of seeing her on the court, seeing her as part of that team, the camaraderie of the team, looking over on that bench and seeing close to 40 kids on that team was just so heartwarming for me as a parent. And, looking around in the stands, there's parents, there's teachers, there's the nurses from Bedford High came. The stands were filled with fans, which was great. The boys basketball team would come and watch before they would have to leave for their away game. The girls basketball team would come and watch. Other teams that were coming in late to practice would come in early to see the games, and students would come. And, for my daughter to be part of a team like that was just so empowering for her, and the confidence of her on the court when she scored a basket, when her teammates scored a basket. And, there was one boy on the team, he was most amazing to watch, as he'd get that ball and he'd walk right under the rim, and he wasn't going to let anybody stop him, and he would make that basket. And the look on these athletes' faces when they scored, of just so happy, they'd all look over at their parents and cheer to say, I did it, and look at the scoreboard. And it was just such a great thing. And I could see even on the partners' faces too, of how proud they were of their athletes, and just the support of and the confidence of those kids out there was just so fantastic all around I think for everybody, like you said.
Amazing. And how did it affect Maddie in her day-to-day at this high school?
Oh, she loved it. She was, she was one of the kids at the high school where, we see people out in the community, and she'd be like, hey, and high five or give them the peace sign. And I'd be like, oh, Maddie, who's that? And she's like, oh, she's on my basketball team. And you know, and the snowball dance that they had was just so phenomenal, of the decorations and everybody getting so dressed up. And, you know, when I dropped her off at that, just the independence that she felt too. She was like, see you later, Mom. You know, her and Vincent were like, we're good, you know, you can go now, which is such a great feeling for me as a parent to see them become and gain some confidence and independence and just be so welcome with their peers. Was just meant everything to I think to everyone.
Allie, you've been very involved with Unified. Tell us about why you chose this as an extracurricular activity and what this experience has given you.
So I started developing a love for working with people with varying disabilities in 5th grade when I joined our town Special Olympics team. And after that, it just kind of snowballed into this lifestyle where my whole life revolves around it. And joining all of these incredible organizations led to me just wanting to give back to these people who don't always have a voice. And it is so rewarding, and it really is the most fulfilling thing I have ever done. And it just has shaped me into a better person.
Outstanding. We're really proud of you. Amazing. Thank you. Unified basketball is a winter sport. Can you talk a little bit about the growth of Unified at Bedford High and what other potential programs might be in the works moving forward?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So at the state level, they offer unified volleyball and unified track and field in the spring. We don't technically have a unified track team. However, we do, because any student athlete that wants to be a part of our track program is a part of our track program. Maddie, Vincent, Amanda Altimus, and Brendan Chatfield, anyone who wants to be a part of it, it is. And so I would say we've combined forces in the spring. And so that any student in the building, literally, who wants to be a part of our track program can. I know Vin, when he could get up here from his daily classes, you know, made a point to get up here last year and worked with Coach Blahnik to get him on the track. And so the spring we have that offering. We are exploring getting a unified soccer program going, which would be the fall option. And then I know at the state level, we are exploring alternatives, which hopefully down the road we can look at unified bowling, which I think would be a really beneficial and tool for athletes and partners to engage and pretty easy to manage. And so our goal is to get unified bowling going in the next couple of years from a statewide level as well. But ultimately, you know, much like anything at Bedford, which makes this a really special place, is if kids want to do something and there's a drive and a passion for them, we're going to try to find a home for it and make it work here at the school. And so our goal is that unified soccer is something we can start this fall in some form or fashion, and then hopefully similar to basketball, build it up to the point that you know, it's an everyday expectation and natural sport offering that we offer in the fall.
Outstanding. That's amazing. Okay, I want to talk about snowball, which Lisa mentioned a little bit earlier, because this is definitely one of the highlights of the unified season. And I know it means so much to everyone involved. Allie, can you tell us a little bit about snowball, which Lisa mentioned a little bit earlier, just what it is and what it means to you?
Yeah, of course. It's a unified dance put on at Londonderry High School, and I was lucky enough to attend freshman, sophomore, and junior year. I couldn't this past year because of date conflicts, but it's this dance put on at Londonderry for adolescents with varying disabilities. And you walk in the room and it's just pure magic. And it's something that everybody with a disability, I feel, should experience, because it's so different from your average high school dance. There's no judgment, there's no stereotypes. It's just pure love and purity, and everybody is there for the same reason, full of acceptance. It was just such a magical experience.
Amazing. Lisa, tell us what your house is like on the night of snowball, and what your children experience there, and who attends, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh, it's like a fairy tale wedding that you know, your daughter loaned Maddie a dress this year for the snowball, which Maddie felt like a princess in and looked like a princess. And she was just so excited to get ready. You know, I did her hair for her. She doesn't typically like to blow dry her hair, but you know, she was all about getting ready. She asked me to put makeup on. We put a little makeup on her. You know, her and Vin typically, like any typical siblings, do not like to get near each other, but they were all dressed up and they knew they looked good, and they posed, you know, they posed the best that they can with their red carpet smiles for pictures, and they just couldn't wait to get there. And you know, I have a third son who is typical, who doesn't get a lot of alone time with his mom because they demand so much of my attention. So the two of us had a nice dinner. We went out to dinner that night, the two of us, and we went back to pick them up from the dance. It was well after 9. We were a little late, and we walked in, and you know, there's Maddie front and center by the stage, surrounded by about 20 girls, with her and a couple other, you know, girls with disabilities in the center of a circle, singing their lungs out to Bohemian Rhapsody, all with air microphones. And it was just the funniest thing ever. And everyone in that room was just having so much fun that they didn't want to stop the party. So it was just such a phenomenal experience.
I will tell you, my senior, that is the highlight of her year, is the snowball. Like, her and all of her friends, they all just are so vested in making sure that not only your kids have fun and all the athletes have fun, but also that they are there and it's all about them and making them feel so special. And it's just such a magical night. Like Allie said, it's absolute magic. Anything you want to add, Corey, about
Yeah, I was
snowball?
just going to chime in before we moved on, and credit that to Coach Campbell-Kelly and really our students. You know, I don't think there's a school that has turnout like ours anywhere, even Londonderry. I know in the first couple of years, Londonderry, who hosts the event, did not have the turnout that Bedford brought. And again, it takes kids like Allie and our other students that really embrace what they're part of and the special night that they can make this for everybody, including themselves. And it's pretty much a norm now. I mean, it's on the schedule. The expectation is that you'll be there if you're a part of this team. And you know, again, it makes the experience even more special because the kids buy in and really want to be a part of that night, because it does provide an experience that maybe our students don't get to have, and be the limelight of the evening. And so it's a special one for them. And again, it's kudos to our students for really buying into that.
Hi, I don't know.
Thanks for jumping back in. We were actually just talking about the snowball. Kath, is there
hi.
anything you want to kind of reiterate or talk about with regards to your own experience of participating and what you see and how it makes you feel to see these students all coming together?
Sure. It's, you know, it's a good excuse to get all dressed up, and it was great. Just about our whole team went. This is the second year we've been, and last year just about the whole team went. I didn't get to go last year because I was at a conference, but Coach Roth went with them, and they just talked about how awesome it was. They ended up, it was supposed to be 6 to 9. They ended up talking the DJ into staying for another hour, and all of the it's so beautifully decorated, and everybody just feels special, and everything, most of that stuff. I was talking to the woman. I said, "How can $25 cover?" Because the students each paid $25, cover everything that you did, because it was incredible. It was incredible. It was better than any prom I've ever been to. And she said, well, the DJ donates his time for Make-A-Wish. He was incredible. A lot of the food is donated. All of the decorations are donated, or they are donated, and then they keep them for the next year, and then they just refurbish them, and then they add other new things to them. The kids just have such a ball dancing, just to see the sheer just freedom of them just dancing around, and they had their microphones and their crazy glasses, and again, I don't know who had more fun. They just had fun as a group, really. It's a beautiful thing, you know. Even it poured cats and dogs going in, poured cats and dogs coming out. No one cared. No one cared. It was beautiful. So,
Allie, it seems that being involved in these programs that you've talked about has really impacted you, and sounds like it's going to kind of mold your future. Can you talk a little bit about what you'll be doing after Bedford High School?
Yes, so being a part of these fantastic programs ultimately led to many colleges wanting me to continue working there. So I had 2 offers from Penn State University Park and University of Rhode Island to run their Special Olympics program on campus.
wow.
And I ultimately chose University of Rhode Island to commit to study communicative disorders and neuroscience. And it wouldn't have been
Fantastic.
without all these fantastic organizations.
We're so excited for you and your future. And everyone, I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. There's just, you know, it's such an incredible program, and I thought it was really important to share that with our community. If there's one thing in life that I have learned, and I believe sums up why so many of our high schoolers are getting involved in unified basketball, it's that nothing makes you feel better than doing something good for somebody else. Giving back to your community is the greatest joy you will feel. We are seeing this right now as our neighbors and friends are sewing masks and delivering food to our nurses and doctors and caregivers, reaching out to our elderly and making sure they have what they need and are staying safe. This is a time when we all need each other, and it is in these moments we feel the pure joy of giving back. Thank you so much for joining me today, and remember to laugh more, love deeper, and spread joy.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Joy.
That was
Appreciate the
awesome.
platform.
Thank you, Joy.
Stay
Thanks,
safe,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
guys. Good to see everybody.